You're back watching Tomb Raider: The Final Hours, a story of survival. Tomb Raider's cinematic gameplay is like stepping into a blockbuster movie, having to fight off enemies with a bow and arrow while ziplining off a cliff, all to jump into a helicopter. Who better to ask about all the action than Camilla Luddington? So when I see something like, you know, Lara like jumping for the helicopter, you did that stunt?
With a mat in place. Yeah, so I don't actually break anything, but I do remember my first day actually showing up and not knowing how physical it would necessarily be. And I thought, oh my God, I got completely beaten up today. And I was lying in the bath and I thought, I have to do some sort of training. So I actually did circuit training while I was filming just to help loosen me up. And I knew I had to up my game, basically, the next day.
All right, well, let's take a look at Camilla in action and a look at the people behind the game who brought Lara Croft to life. Right now, I'm here with Kyle Peschel, the producer of Tomb Raider. There's one group here that we should talk about, the OMS team. What does that stand for?
OMS is short for Oh My. Early on in this game, we talked about what makes an experience that draws you in. Whether it's massive explosions, or whether it's these like close and intimate moments.
You're a Croft.
I don't think I'm that kind of Croft.
You're just stunned by that moment and just say, oh my. That's awesome. So when you have a moment in our game where she's down a water slide, past propeller blades, into a hole of a plane, and then she's left dangling over a cliff, in that moment, OMS is about the glass slowly cracking and telling you as the player that you know more than what she knows at that moment.
Now, you've got a great team here that's working on this game. Tell me about, you know, everyone banding together to try and make this great.
It's so spectacular to sit down and to see something expressed on screen and then to say, you know, it'd be cooler if, and everybody's actually listening. I think people forget we're fans of Lara Croft. We want to see her get her due. And to be part of a team that's building that, the guys that we work with are awesome.
And for the first time in the game's 17-year history, Tomb Raider is finally going multiplayer. What did you want to do with the multiplayer for this game?
It was important to us to bring a lot of our single-player sensibilities into that multiplayer experience. So traps, things like a snare trap which strings you upside down and you actually have to fight from there. Lightning rods that you can set up, and if the enemy comes close to them, they'll get struck by lightning. We also brought over the traversal mechanics like the climbing axe and the zip lines.
This is not a game where you have, you know, 8 Laras running around on the same map. You have different survivors you can actually play in the multiplayer.
You got the scavengers who live on the island and the survivors who crash there, trying to basically just survive in this hostile island environment. If they don't work together, they're not going to survive. It feels almost life and death at times. The stakes are really high.
The extraordinary is in what we do, not who we are.
I think what's kept Tomb Raider and Lara Croft in the limelight this whole time is that she's timeless, right? She doesn't seem to age, and she's not out of date. Like some characters will go out of date after 17 years, but she's still hip, she's still cool.
She's now up there with Pac-Man and Super Mario.
It's difficult to think of a female lead that's more important to us in the video game industry.
All right, that's going to do it for us, but if this made you eager to pick up the game, Tomb Raider is in stores right now. Camilla Luddington, before we go, any last words of wisdom to our fans?
Don't leave your friends behind and don't forget to explore.
Excellent. Fantastic advice. Camilla, thanks for joining us. I'm Jeff Keighley. We'll see you guys online. To learn more about the making of Tomb Raider, check out the full Final Hours Tomb Raider app on iTunes.